Welcome back, Saiyans, to another Dragon Ball video here with Chris from TCG the Saiyan Elites. And today we're going to be going over a very different version of the Jiren leader. As a leader I've never played before, I've always kind of wanted to look into this archetype, and I didn't like the idea of playing all these little 1 and 2 drops. So I found something that was a little more my speed, a little more aggressive, a little more board heavy with more threats, and a pretty strong game ender as well. So make sure you guys like this video. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck profile itself. Give me more ideas for deck profiles you guys like to see in the future. Still working on a lot of what you guys already requested. We have a pretty long list. I have like 15 different deck profiles that I've had suggested either in comments or in emails. So thank you guys for that. Keep giving me guys ideas for content. I will keep pushing videos out for you. So with this leader here, on the front side, this leader actually makes it so I guess you really don't need any self-awakening, because this leader takes a life every time he attacks. So basically when this card attacks, you take a life, and then you choose one of the following effects. You can either draw a card and gain 5k, or you choose up to one Universe 11 card in your hand with 2 costs or less and play it, which does have some effectiveness in this deck. When this card is at 4 life or less, you can restand 1 and draw 1. And then on this side is where all the fun happens with Jiren, mainly just because he becomes extremely difficult to kill. When this card attacks, you draw 1, gain 5k, an active battle. Choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand until the start of your next main phase. As long as you have a Universe 11 card in play, you don't take damage from your opponent's attacks. So this makes it extremely difficult to finish off Jiren as kind of how he was in the anime. And I'll kind of show you the deck list that I have for him. So, first thing is we are running a multicolor deck, so green yellow seems to be the most probably one of the better variations of the deck. I've seen yellow blue, I've seen yellow red. This seems to be the best for me, at least. And then 4 Dr. Euro super combos, just to get all the normal multicolor stuff out of the way. Now these 2 cards here are kind of the linchpins of this deck for early game and mid game pressure. So we have the 2-drop Topo, Bestower of Justice. This card here is a 16k with barrier. When it hits the field, becomes a 4-drop. So it's just very keen to remember. So this card can be played out with your leader. This card can be played out with your leader ability because it is a 2-drop in your hand. Once it hits the field, it becomes a 4-drop. And it has barrier, so it makes it a little more difficult to kill. And it has 16k, which is a very interesting stat line. A 2-drop 16k, because it's just very interesting. If you're swinging at a 10k at your leader with 10, your opponent's leader with 10k, they have to combo twice in order to stop the attack. So it makes it very just weird to deal with. And then the other card is Dispo, Unprecedented Speed. So this card actually can successor for 4 on top of Topo, because Topo is considered a 4-drop. And when this card comes into play, you draw 1. Now I know back when this whole archetype was first kind of announced and played, no one really played this card. This card was sitting at like $1 for most of set 9. And now it's jumped up to $4. And a big reason is because, for one, this card has barrier. 2, Surge-Ku is not really as prominent as it was, which was kind of the big damper on Universe 11 as well as Invoker. But this card having barrier is really good. But also the effect of whenever this card is played, or when it's placed in the drop area, by a skill, you draw 1. So it doesn't matter what the skill is, as long as it's placed in the drop area, not the warp, you draw 1. So basically you can play this card out here, swing, and then play this out on top of it and draw. Something that I've done, it's not like it's not the main reason why the card's in the deck, but something that you can do is if you actually can successor another one on top of it, and then you draw a card off of this going to the drop, then you draw a card off of this coming into play. So for 1 energy you draw 2. It's just a very interesting way of being able to like clear boards. So you swing with this, at something, hopefully clear it, successor, go into this, draw a card, swing into something else, and then use this, successor out, draw 1 from that, draw 1 from this, and then swing. Because it doesn't say once per turn, so you can do that. But also the other big thing about these cards is that they have barrier and they are Universe 11. So with these cards on board, Jiren can use his effect safely, and there's a lot of things that can remove barrier, but there's also not a lot of things that can remove barrier. So they have to specifically play things to remove barrier, and if they don't have that particular card in their hand, or if they don't run it in their main deck, you're safe. These cards are going to make it very easy for your active battle to work. Then the other green, yellow cards that we run are going to be our arrival cards. We run 4 of the Krillin and Android 18s. The Rebrand, I wish the Rebrand said KO of 5 or less, because then the card would be absolutely amazing, but because it's not, I think this card just does its job. Comes in for 1 green energy, just like the Rebrand would, but this card, you have 2 different effects. You can either A, make your opponent drop a card, which is very, very important, or you can choose a keyword on one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and negate its skills for the duration of the turn. So if someone's swinging in with a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, or a a Frieza quad strike, or just something like that, you can play this. You can remove its skills for the turn, so then it's only single damage. Or you can make your opponent drop a card. And especially if you bring out multiple of these, you can just make your opponent drop multiple cards, but also it also works as a successor target for Dispo as well. Small package of Universe 9. We run 2 Universe 9 assembles and 2 Basils. The idea is that this card is just extra for just draw power, and if we don't have these in our hand or anything, we just fish one out of our drop area, play it, and just allows us to draw a card. So mainly it's a tap 2, draw 3, and then we get a body on board. And if we do have, for whatever reason, they have 5 cards in rest mode, we can tap this, activate its ability, and then this card gains dual attack and 15k for until the start of your next turn. So this card becomes a 19k during your opponent's turn, so it makes it a little bit harder to clear. What we got next here? We got 4 of the Vegeta Unison. I actually think this Unison is really, 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 really good. So for one, I think this is the only Unison as of right now that has two effects that actually work in favor of adding markers to him. So for one, just messing with markers. So you can actually tap one of your battle cards or this card and add a marker to it. So a good target for that is the Basil, truthfully. You just tap it when it comes into play and just add a marker to this. But then you have 2 other effects. So one is you -1. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards greater than their current energy till the end of their next turn. And then the third one is you can activate battle, choose one of your opponent's energy, switch it to rest mode, and then this card gets 5k double strike and dual attacks. This becomes one of your game enders, being able to swing in twice with double strike. Because of the Unison, we do run part of the Unison, reduce cost package. So 2 of the dispos that are crit that come out for free if you have no battle cards in play. 2 of this, the Angel, she comes in for 2 instead of 3. And then when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode till the start of your next turn. Also, she has barrier, so she's harder to kill, and she is a Universe 11, as well as the other dispo, so just gives you other targets for your activate battle. And then 2 of the Belmont counterplays that can either tap a card when it comes into play, or negate a card, negate a attack from a card, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills for the turn. This card comes in for 2 if you have a Unison in play. 2 chilled. Another game ender if you have more than 5 energy. If one of your opponent's battle cards is tapped in rest mode by a skill, this card comes in for free. So it's a free 25k double strike that will just sit on the board and can help you, end the game just by having an extra swing. 2 Champas for tapping battle cards that come in that have, deflect. We want to just, stop them from hitting us with something really, really strong. We'll just tap it with this and then draw a card. 2 Giant Ball as well to tap cards and also draw. 2 Pans. We're never going to awaken at 2 life generally, so we're not going to be using the first auto But the second auto, I mean, the active main is really, really important. So this is a 15k blocker for 3 energy. If we're not really playing a lot of things out, we can just play this out. But we also can restand one of our yellow battle cards, which is super, super important. We can restand Chilled, or we can restand our boss monster, which we'll see here in the deck. 3 Vegeta Final Flashes, another defensive or offensive card, being able to remove skills like Invoker, which is a big thing, and stop your opponent from coming in with, like, let's say Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You can negate its crit, its triple strike, its triple attack, and its double strike abilities for the turn. So you can kind of shut off any single card in the game as long as all of your energy is yellow, which we run predominantly yellow in the deck, so it works. And then 3 Flying Nimbus. Thinking about adding Time Magic as well, but Nimbus just works in the main board super well right now with all the aggro stuff that's going to be going on in this meta. Now for the boss monster stuff. So we run 3 of the Son Goku Vigilant Breakthroughs, which works in tandem with the Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan. I love this card. We run a lot of 4-drops in the deck, so it makes getting this Successor 8 super easy. This card's effect, whenever this card attacks, you can combo with a yellow Son Goku from the drop area for free once per turn. And when we combo with this card, we actually get to restand it. So it's almost like the old Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku SCR, where you basically would play it, you would play out the pan, and then you would just kind of, not pan, Heartfelt Plea, and you would just restand it with the pan. But with this card, it's kind of the same idea. So we swing with this, combo with this, restand it. So now it's dual attack, triple strike, and then we can use the pan to restand it again. So it becomes a triple strike, triple attack for 30k, making it an extremely hard boss monster to deal with card wise. Now obviously it doesn't have barrier or anything else like that, so it can be hit by every counterplay in the game, but we're playing yellow, so we're using a lot of our cards, hopefully using our leader or our unison ability to tap energy, and hopefully wind them out of energy so that we can play this and it has more of effect. Last 2 cards in the deck. 1 Mirror Assault from the Skies. It's nice because it's a 30k double strike. We don't really play around our drop that much except for the Goku. But when we play this, we can draw 1, and then we get to restand 1 on our opponent's turn, just giving us some extra defense. And then SCR wise will be Smoke. This will be, if I end up getting it, I would play the Gotenks Unison in this deck. Because, let me kind of get all these cards out here, I can show you. So this card here is pretty good, being able to, stop your opponent, stop your opponent's hand size, clear their board, or warp away their drop. All that is really, really effective. And I just wanted to show you guys what cards we have here that are all 15k. So with the Gotenks Unison, which I'll put that on the screen so you guys can see it, it comes out for 1 less for every 15k card you have in the drop area. So there's 4, there's 8, 10, 12, and 15. Obviously, you can't reduce him by 15 by his cost by 15 because he's only 8 cost, but you can reduce it all the way down to, I think, 3 or 4, around that. I may be wrong, but the image on the screen will be correct. But you can reduce them down as much as you possibly can, and these are going to go in the drop anyways. Once you use these cards, they'll all go to the drop. So after you have like 3 or 4 of these in the drop, you're getting this card out for way cheaper. But that so far is my Jiren deck. Like I said, this is a very new deck for me. Very experimentative. I think it plays really well. The matches that I played with it so far have gone to game 3s. Wasn't able to clutch up some of these, but I changed the deck up pretty significantly since we played. I took out the Height of Mastery engine because it just didn't really feel super well with all the the 4-drop successing that I'm trying to do with Gohan. So I think the deck feels pretty good right now. Changes I would make to it, Bardock Raider's Warcry would be a big one. Bergamo didn't feel great because I wasn't doing a lot of energy tapping. So Bardock Reader's War card would probably be the card that I would add to this deck if I had it. But until then, this is what I'm going to be playing with. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this deck down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.